Hi everybody, it's John here for Planet Kambo. What I want to talk about in today's video is allowing feelings to be, allowing feelings to come up. So when we use medicines such as Kambo and other plant medicines, what they can do is they can stir the pot, so to speak. So they can unlock certain feelings that have been pushed down. And when these feelings come up, if they're negative, our initial urge is going to be to want to get rid of this feeling. And the way we do that is through using substances and things like the internet. So we live in an age now where there's no shortage of distractions. There's no shortage of ways that we can push our feelings down, ways that we can avoid feeling. You have one in your pocket all the time, your mobile phone. That is a device that allows you to avoid feeling. So let me ask you this. Any time that you're bored, if you're sitting on the tube or whatever, do you ever just sit, or do you just immediately grab your phone and start scrolling or playing a game or something like that? So what's happening is we've all become addicted to dopamine. Essentially, that's the root of all addictions is dopamine, which is the reward chemical in the brain. So when we're using substances or electronic devices or whatever it is all the time, you start to alter the levels of dopamine in your brain. And then the body starts to get used to a higher level of dopamine. And that this leads to feelings of unhappiness. So if every time that you're bored or you feel an urge, you get your phone out and you start scrolling, all you're doing is you're conditioning your dopamine receptors to become less and less sensitive over time. And then what happens is we start to become less and less motivated to actually do things. Everyday tasks, things like going for a walk or basic tasks, start to lose you start to lose the desire to want to do them because they're not giving you enough of a hit. And I know this from personal experience. I 100%, I'm like everybody else. I use the internet, and I catch myself doing it. I catch myself scrolling through, Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and I can actually feel what it's doing to my brain as I'm doing it. And it's this anticipation of the next thing that I'm actually going to look at. It's not even finding something good to look at. What it's really about is it's this anticipation as you're scrolling. Your brain is getting excited because it's the potential that it's going to see something. So it's this anticipation that is really it's messing up the dopamine part of your brain. So I've gone off track a little bit, but at the beginning of this video I started talking about using different things, whether it's substances or internet, to push feelings down. So what happens when we do this, and again I can talk from personal experience because this is something that I've done my whole life, is I avoid my feelings. So this is just habit from childhood. It's when feelings come up, especially if it's negative ones, without thinking about it, I automatically get urges to use certain things, whether it's a substance or whether it's some kind of electronic device, internet. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with computer games. Same thing, I was always playing computer games. And then as an adult, now we have where we have the internet. At any moment, I just can get my phone out and I can scroll and I can feed that sort of reward system part of my brain. And as I said, the problem arises is where we condition ourselves to become less and less sensitive to dopamine, and then everyday life becomes dull and boring because it's not giving you enough of a hit. So what we need to do is we need to be able to be comfortable with just being. When negative feelings come up, if it's anger, frustration, grief, some feeling, we need to allow it to be. And you need to fight that urge to want to get rid of it with a substance or with the internet. So next time it comes up, whether it's after you've used Kambo or a plant medicine or just in everyday life, when you start to feel something, be conscious of what's happening and then allow the feeling to be. If you just sit and just meditate on the feeling and acknowledge the feeling, feel the feeling, it will pass. And as feelings begin to pass, then they become healed. So if there's an emotion that your body needs to feel, if you don't feel it and you push it down, this is going to cause you problems further down the line. And then this becomes a habit, a way of avoidance, and we start to internalize all of our feelings, all of our negative feelings, and they all get pushed down. And then what's going to happen is over time, you're going to start to have problems. They're going to start to manifest as physical symptoms, all chronic health conditions. I mean, this is a topic for another video, which I will make another video about. But I've read some books, and almost all chronic health conditions are due to unexpressed emotions. And this is something that I experience myself through, through my life. I've had lower back trouble, and I've always thought it was a physical thing. And then when I started to look into it, someone recommended a couple of books, and it really hit home in how, by internalizing all of my feelings and not allowing them to be, and by not expressing them, I'm actually causing myself physical harm, and my body is just rebelling against what I'm doing, and it gives me pain. So what we need to do is we need to get comfortable with our feelings. We need to get comfortable just allowing them to be. So periodically throughout the day, what you can do is you can check in with your feelings, ask yourself what you're feeling, and then just feel it, acknowledge it. If you can give it a name, if you can find what the feeling is, then great, do that. So it's okay, I'm feeling a little bit angry, I'm feeling a bit sad and frustrated. Right, I'm just going to sit with this feeling. I close my eyes and I'll just sit for 5 minutes and I'll just feel that feeling. And it's not nice. It's really not nice to feel these feelings. It's really unpleasant. And the urge to want to get rid of it is very, very strong. But over time, what happens is we're training ourselves, we're training our mind and our subconscious that it's okay to feel these feelings. And then the desire to want to reach for something to get rid of it is going to get less and less and less. And then over time, feelings will just start to flow through you in the same way as clouds just flow through the sky. So I'll leave it there for now in this video. If you take something away from this video, then it's just to feel your feelings, notice when the urge comes up to want to get rid of them, and don't reach for that substance or for the internet, and just allow those feelings to be. So that's all from me for now, and I will see you in the next video.